Well, it's still Sunrise Daily on Channels Television, and we head to our next leg of the conversation. All eyes are on war-ravaged Sudan following the fighting between the government and the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, and especially as, countries of the world begin evacuating their citizens from the country. Nigeria is doing the same, and that evacuation process began yesterday. We have joining us now to shed more light on that process the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa. Thank you for joining us, Madam, on Sunrise Daily.
Good morning.
Good morning. And it was cheery to hear from the Minister of Foreign Affairs yesterday that no Nigerian has died in the process. We hope that it stays that way. But fill us in on what began yesterday, particularly with updates. Would like to know that the evacuation process began and has continued without incident, especially with the first set. Have they arrived Cairo, Egypt?
They should arrive Cairo, Egypt later in the evening. The journey is almost 28 hours if it's a straight journey. But in this case, they have to stop somewhere and all that. So we're hoping that they'll get into Aswan later this evening, but we're monitoring them. 13 buses left Khartoum yesterday from two universities, the African International University and I think Al-Khazar University. So 13 buses of about 60 people have already left, and by the grace of God, we're monitoring them and they're all good. I mean, it's not a very pleasant situation, but they also, mission officials are waiting for them at Aswan to receive them. And another set of buses, hopefully, when funds are released for them, because the transporters are insisting they want to collect their cash before they even load the next set of buses. So everything is being done by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, NEMA, to ensure that is done. So cheering news, no life has been lost, as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced yesterday, and our students are progressing to their destination in Aswan, Cairo.
And we heard from one of our students earlier on the program that about 3,500 students are expected to be evacuated. We'd like you to confirm that figure. And while you're doing that as well, the concern is on security. The 72-hour ceasefire, we understand, is supposed to lapse sometime before the end of today. So what are the assurances that as the process continues, because it began just yesterday, that it will continue without incident when the ceasefire has lapsed?
That's the prayer and that's the hope. But so far, the Nigerian mission and the three missions are working together to ensure that our students are protected. Now, there's a little challenge. 3,500 students, yes, but Nigerians are now coming, without even any documentation to now say they want to come back. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Perhaps when we get all our data right, Sudan will probably be one of the areas where we have our largest diaspora population. So the mission is now being bombarded with people that never registered, that never showed presence, that now coming and say, look, they want to come. And as you said, the 72 hours is lapsing. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of desperation. So in fact, yesterday in the evacuation, the mission very strict, because people who never even showed up wanted to even chance the students. Some tried to jump into the window, but they had to stop a while and said, no, we have to be orderly. And they did it by now breaking them into various states with the list that they had. So let's just pray and hope that let's pray and hope that the ceasefire will become permanent season of fire. Who knows? There's been a lot of talks with the AU and the two warring factions, and there's nothing better than peace in all this situation.
Absolutely. So with the new numbers of those now interested in being ferried to safety, you're projecting more than the 3,500 students anticipated in the first place, and if that number is correct?
I don't want to tie down myself to figures, but all I know is that as at this morning, the mission, people that never even showed up anywhere, that never